Did you mean to do that?
No, you were meant to catch me.
I wasn't gonna catch you.
God damn it!
Too far away. Hey!
Hi!
Everyone, welcome to another amazing episode of Unhinged Boys movie review.
Yes.
But we're not reviewing a movie, we're reviewing another Marvel show.
We sure are.
Yep, aka I'm going to, because I'm the only one to watch it, and Jared's gonna...
I'm gonna stand here and look menacing.
Yeah, I'm basically gonna spat out most of the shit to Jared, and he's gonna... and you're gonna give commentary we needed, Jared.
Hell yeah.
Alright. So, you see from the title, we did it. Well, I did it.
He did it. I wasn't doing that.
I had to go to the front lines and watch a lot of... I basically watched, I'm pretty sure, combined, like, good almost 8 hours.
Are you gonna combine those
things? But anyway, we're doing Ironheart.
You sure are.
So to prepare for this, I watched Wakanda Forever, which is a movie I'm not going to review. But basically, it's basically just where the Wakandans, Riri Williams, which is Ironheart, she's there, and she helps them out, or they help her out, or whatever. Watch the movie. If you want to know, or if you want me to review it, go in the comment section. Let me know. Anyway, right now we're talking about Ironheart, which is about Riri Williams, which is the dumbest name. Why? Did you do that on purpose? You did that on purpose. I don't understand why anyway, this show. Basically, Riri Williams, she's basically a prodigy in technology. She's the next Tony Stark. She's the person that's gonna, be better than Tony Stark, better than Pym, better than all of them.
I'm just gonna go sit down. I feel weird.
Fine, sit the fuck down. Sit down. All right, so Jared decided not to be in there.
I came, I saw, I left.
Alright, so we're going to continue without him, but he's going to clock in once in a while, and he feels like it.
I sure will.
But then she's like, I can't do anything because I don't have billions of dollars. It's like, what? For one, you built a watch. You can see it like in this montage where she's selling stuff. She made a watch that's like just like a force field. Like, that's probably better than anything like Wakanda or Stark or the U.S. government could have actually made. And she's just like, oh, I'm just gonna give it as like a give it as homework. Somebody said they can give me money.
And I'm super glad that the Wakandans are super choosy on who they actually hold grudges against, who steal their metal.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why the Wakandans even went for her is because she, at a whim. By the way, this also happened in the comics too. Like the same thing, like in the comics, the reason why she's into Tony Stark, and the reason why she made this machine, because in the movie she made a machine that can detect vibranium. And the only reason why she does that is because the goddamn teacher was just like, oh no, you can't do it. And it's the same thing in the comics. She's like, except she literally asked the teacher, Jared, I'm not fucking with you. She asked the teacher in the comics. Even in the comics, they're just like, hey.
I'm glad you know more about this than I do.
They're like, hey, she's just a character we're just gonna throw in. She just like asked the teacher, she's like, hey, do something to piss me off to make me wanna do better. She was like, all right, you won't be better than Stark. And then she just started writing shit down, and then that was Riri Williams. And by the way, she also did another thing. How the fuck can you say that she's a hero when she, I'm getting too hard on myself. I'm getting too ahead. Let's just go back.
Let's dial it back.
A little bit. I'm getting a little angry. Anyway, so we're gonna go back I'm gonna explain things.
To the task!
I'm just gonna explain. I'm gonna explain every episode. I'm just gonna explain all the main points and all the main events that happen as quick as I can, because I'm gonna lose my shit and I'm gonna probably pass out. But anyway, all right. So basically, start from the beginning. Basically, she's getting. There's a whole video, whatever, start beating him, whatever the fuck, and then she gets talked to by her teachers in this college or whatever. They're like, listen, we did everything we could, try to accommodate you as much as we can, but all you keep doing is stealing shit and selling all your projects, making it use, and you're not even working for a degree. And by the way, her excuse for saying that she's not going to get a degree, for not getting a degree in a college that she's been in for 4 years now, just draining their money and selling shit that she could be making millions of dollars off of.
Because that's super smart.
Her excuse. Yeah, that's not smart at all, Jerry. Thank you.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, but anyway, her excuse is, what do I need? Why do I need a degree for? What? So I can be in a dumb lab with a bunch of people I gotta pretend I like?
Then why the fuck are you in college?
Why are you trying to be an inventor? Why did you, by the way, in the beginning, she had a whole voiceover that's like, I want, my machines, my suits can basically be better than goddamn ambulances, kind of. Basically, that's what she said. Her character is all over the fucking place. First, she wants to help people, that's her excuse. And then, she's just like, oh, I'm just gonna steal shit. Because guess what? The next scene, after she gets kicked out of the thing, they're like, all right, go pick up your stuff. And then, she goes pick up her stuff, and basically, she's just walking around the science lab and everything. The security guard is there. She's talking to some person. Like, we're here to basically make sure she doesn't steal anything. Meanwhile, she literally grabs, like, pieces of Iron Man suit, of, like, the suit she made, and just grabs it, keeps making it, keeps, like, putting it on one by one, and then eventually she's just like, all right, see you guys later, and then just launches out of there. Woo! And guess what? The AI that she made was like some shitty ass pencil AI that was basically connected to the school system. So the second she tries to use it, she gets kicked out because she got expelled. So she's stupid and doesn't realize that she can't actually drive it, and so she crashes and has to basically like lug the whole thing to her mom's house. Well, meanwhile, I might explain the first episode in more detail to get everybody.
You tell me this, or you tell me this, or the audience?
Everybody. I'm telling everybody this. I'm going to explain the first episode in a little bit more detail than others. But anyway, at the same time this is happening, there's also a heist going on between our elite team of dumbasses. Our leader, the Hood, which is named Parker, his cousin, who's like, I can't remember his name, like Jacob or something.
Who cares?
Anyway, like, he's got a cousin, he does recruiting, and then there's a girl named Clown, and then there's two other girls that are basically athletes, but they're really good at beating the shit out of people, and they're also twins. And then there's there's a guy that wears too much makeup and has an attitude. and then they got basically Eric Andre that messes up the whole mission, and then they're like, we gotta replace this guy. And then they look up and they see Riri flying in the air. And they're like, let's get her. Somehow they find her. Alright, so anyway, she goes home, her mom's hanging out with her friends, they're all into like weird like magical crystal shit, they say like palm reading shit like that. They're like, what happened to you? And she's like, Riri's like, I don't care, don't ask me anything. Don't ask me questions. And then her friend shows up, which is the I guess brother of her dead best friend that died. And she also has stepdad that also died too. So they both died at the same time, and by like a drive-by or something. Because this whole show, by the way, she just like can't get over their deaths. She like basically watched them die. I mean, and that is traumatic, but at the same time, she's just like constantly having panic attacks. Just basically being useless most of the time. Oh, we gotta go to this junkyard, and then the recruiter guy for the crew shows up and is like, yeah, I'll pay for all your stuff. Hey, why aren't you working for Stark? And she's like, I'm they can't have me because I'm too smart. Anyway, she goes to the address and then basically almost dies. And then basically, like, by the way, this whole time she's like in an elevator and there's like smoke. And then like the hooded guy Parker is like, all right, you got 10 minutes, figure it out, else you're gonna die.
It's literally that stupid ass clip they released.
Yeah, and then she like, when she's like trying to get out, they're all like, oh damn.
Oh damn, she got out of an elevator.
Oh man, she figured out. Parker should be your time. What? You
Holy
made him do that?
Shit, she's a genius.
You made him do that? Yeah, and they're making the Eric Andre guy just watch him lose his job. Anyway, she gets out, and you see like the whole team, they're all like hanging out, and like she gets gets the suit ready or whatever. She has like a panic attack because she listened to a song that her friend made, and then she makes the suit. And even though she complains about not having enough resources, and then she somehow makes. By the way, she's basically trying to copy the same AI that she saw in Wakanda, which is basically stealing somebody's idea in AI. So she's just stealing shit from Wakanda. So she's trying to make like an AI that's connected to your like brain or whatever. So she does that, and she wakes up the next day, and guess what? Her dead friend's back, but it's in a hologram form. And that's episode 1. She figures out that somehow that Parker's shady as shit. Basically, in the middle of a freaking another heist, she tries to like cut like a piece of the hood guys, hood, whatever.
Cape,
hood, whatever the fuck. And then it fucks up, the hood guy's gotta kill a bunch of people, and then she basically gets caught by like his cousin, the hood's cousin, and he's like, oh, you betrayed us! And he tries to stab her and everything, and then basically, by the way, she sets off a bunch of security that basically depressurizes all of these different areas that they're in. And basically, they're all suffocating now. And she basically like fends them off. And then her best friend named Natalie, who's in the suit. By the way, she figured out. She's an AI that figured out to get into her suit. She controls the suit now. The AI controls the suit. So the AI flies into the thing, saves Riri, and then just leaves the cousin to die. And he's like, no! He's begging. He's just like, no! Open the door, please! Riri, please! And then she does some like scans, and he's literally just sitting there dead. She's like, he's dead. And Hood's like, no!
definitely hero material.
And then she leaves, and then there's like a scene after that episode where she's just like, where like the Hood's just like, what was it for? What happened? Come on! What was that deal? Was he a part of it? Was his death? And then, the entity or whatever the fuck. By the way, yeah, he's being controlled by an entity. Or influenced. The Hood guy is being influenced by an entity. We'll find out what the entity is pretty soon here. But anyway, the entity basically just says that Riri did it, and yeah. And by the way, a little subplot that happened in the episode ago is that she also made friends with what was the fucking one guy's name? Parker? No, not Parker. Fucking Fisk Stain?
What? You mean the Iron Man villain?
Yeah, the Iron Man villain.
I don't remember. The villain from the very first Iron Man movie.
Yeah, she found his son. And he's just been hoarding technology. And she just basically took some like nano skin or whatever so she can hide it from like the whole security thing and the heist. Anyway, he's just like, don't fuck up. This will come back to me if they find it. Guess what? Next episode, they find it and they basically pin all the deaths and everything on him. He goes to jail and they're like, well, it looks like, by the way, they also revealed that they basically hid the fact that the guy basically tried to kill Tony. Because they're like, yo, he just retired. Oh, he fucked up his legacy. Fucked up his father's legacy.
What?
Yeah, they basically...
I'm pretty sure the guy went to jail at the end of the Iron Man 1.
No, the guy died.
Oh, yeah.
He fucking died, and they basically
I don't know, it's been
said...
a while.
And they said, oh, they just covered it up. They covered it up, basically.
It's been a good long while since I've seen either one of those movies.
Yeah, water break.
Water break.
Oh, yeah, this is one of the things that also made me... By the way, in this show, I had to pause a lot, because I never had to pause so much times in a show, because I was just like... Oh my fucking god, what is happening? But anyway, basically, she just starts getting paranoid, and until a point where her mom's just like, what is happening? You ran into my fucking room like Kool-Aid Man with the fucking Iron Man suit. What's happening? And she's like, Mom, I just need some spiritual guidance. Can you please help me? Let's go to your friend's store or whatever. And her mom's like, okay, let's go to the store. And then they go to the store, right? Her friend that we seen in the first episode, her mom's friend, that knows spiritual shit, she has a candy shop. And they go there, and her mom's friend has a daughter that's listening to their conversation, and she just comes in and is just like, oh, so you want to know about that thing that's in your pocket? By the way, Riri had like no clue that she could actually help, by the way, because seconds after Riri's like, yeah, I need help, she's like, the daughter of the mom's friend's like, okay, cool. Snaps her fingers and the whole room goes into a different magical dimension. And it literally, there was no warning. Everybody's like, everyone, even like the mom of like the person that did it is just like, what the hell? But she's more pissed off than surprised. She's like, what, you're doing this shit? Because it turns out that that Riri's mom's friend was actually a student in the Doctor Strange fucking magic school.
Or university, whatever you want to call it.
The magic university that Doctor Strange went into, because apparently she somehow got pregnant there, which I didn't even think that's a thing they could do. I thought it was like a monk thing.
I kind of thought that too, but I don't remember that either.
But she got pregnant there and then left because she didn't want her daughter to be a part of magic, even though she's very much a part of magic behind her mom's back. But anyway, they find out that it's that the hood is from a very bad entity. Very bad entity from a different dimension. So basically, she's just like, they're just like, the mom's friend's like, alright, you guys get the fuck out of here, you gotta go, we don't want a part of this. Nothing a part of it. And then they leave, and then Riri's mom's like, hey, what the freak is going on? Tell me what's happening, I can't help you. And she's like, you know what, Mom, you really piss me off when you ask questions like that. And then she just leaves. Talking to the magic girl at White Castle now, and she's just like not even believing what the magic girl. She's still skeptical. She's like, yeah, you know, Dormammu, whatever, blah blah blah. So how do we defeat him? And she's like, I mean, the magic, probably somehow. I mean, we gotta figure it out. I'm like 50% sure it's Dormammu. and then that's when the twins show up, and then the magic girl's like, all right, I'm gonna go. and then the twins are like, so, I guess they're gonna hear about your death in the papers tomorrow. And she's like, my death's not gonna... And Riri's like, my death's not gonna make the papers. And then the twins are like, wow, that's depressing.
Well, shit.
And it's like, okay, shit. Yeah, and then this whole scene's just basically the whole crew trying to kill Riri. Well, by the way, the fucking suit, Natalie, the suit, got pissed off at Riri, by the way, and is now on like a roof. And then the dude that wears too much makeup and has an attitude basically just harpoons the suit and puts him in in a back of a truck and starts driving. And doesn't turn it off, doesn't turn on an EMP, just keeps it on. By the way, it escapes. It just like does a saw blade, busts on and flies out of there. Meanwhile, Riri's trying to fight for her life in White Castle, by the way, and just fucking throwing shit at them. And the twins are just like trying to fucking catch her. She's throwing bings, by the way, and that's hurting them. And they're like, ah, fuck, ah.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Granted, I never watched this, but this sounds literally atrocious.
Dude, the way Riri, she fights like a couple of times in this, and the way she fights is they're kind of like, oh, she's kind of just doing what a Tony Stark would do and using her own thing as environment. But what she's doing is just like getting caught and then like sneaking away. And then at one point she has like her bubble watch or whatever, because she got that at some point. And then she like is on the ground and she's like, all right, just make it quick. By the way, the bubble watch activates when you hears gunshots. And it's right underneath them. So they're like, all right, fuck it. By the way, they had a gun the whole time. But they just kept trying to beat the shit out of her. So they pull a gun out and they shoot, but then the fucking the forceful comes up and then traps them in there, and then she just kicks it. Clown shows up. Riri takes like a tube and like a canister of gas, and then like launches it at her. Basically, I'm surprised that the clown didn't die. It was right in she's standing up on the counter, and then Riri's just like, hey, psh, and then just hits her straight in the chest, and she flies back into tables, smashing the tables. Riri, you bitch! Ah, and then Riri's just like, I'm out. And by the way, I'm about to get into like Parker's, the Hood's stupid fucking plan. You wanna know what his plan was? His entire time? Or whatever the fuck? Because this whole time he's been trying to get people to like basically sign contracts against their will, which is null and void, by the way. He's like, because this one person, he's like, all right, sign this contract that gives me and my friends like basically jobs at your company and full payments and all this other shit and salaries and 401ks and insurance. And then he's just like, all right, now that my crew's gone, it's time to do my ultimate plan. And then he basically just takes control of like the guy that's Stain's son, because he somehow did some shit that makes him able to like control him. And then guess what that guy's plan? Guess what Hood's plan is the whole time? It's basically to get all this power to basically get his dad to give him all of his dad's money. His dad's just like, all right, I have to sign this contract. And then we go to Riri that just has like a whole fucking montage with her family. She reunites with everybody throughout the whole show. She makes a new suit, and then she has to upgrade with magic, which is the dumbest shit ever. It's like, you can't figure she's like, we don't have a power source that can get all these upgrades. Like, you can't figure out any way else. You can't go to Wakanda. You gotta ask them for a little power. But no, she's just like, all right, hey, witch chick, hey, can you some voodoo, some magic on my suit? She's like, okay. And then they have a whole montage, and then the witch girl's just like, remember, Riri, magic has a price. And then they do that, and then oops, the magic upgrade deletes Natalie, the AI, which, by the way, didn't have to happen if she basically backed up Natalie into her laptop, which she tries to do before Natalie gets deleted. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, Natalie gets deleted, and then Riri gets pissed off and is like, fine, screw this, I'm gonna go beat up the Hood. And then the Hood basically has the conversation with the entity, who I guess we don't find out yet, but yeah, it's the entity. It's like Sacha Baron Cohen. He's like the entity that basically gave Hood the Hood, or whatever, and he's just like the entity's just like, all right, well, I mean, I give you all you want, but I can give you more power if you can keep the hood. And the Hood's just like, so you give me more power if I keep the hood? He's like, yeah. And they're like, okay, cool. And then that's the end of that scene. And then he goes out, and then they basically meet up, and then Riri with her suit that she made out of her dead dad's car and has magical powers.
Oh, wow.
Now, goes in, flies in. Well, before she does that though, she fights Stain's son. By the way, she somehow talks Stain out of it, and but he's just like, I can't stop because the Hood's got control of me. So she's just like, all right, so I'm gonna kick you in your nuts. So when I kick you in your nuts, I'm gonna go behind you and reset your shit. And he's like, all right, I'll try to not shoot you, even though it's impossible. So she kicks him in the nuts, and then resets him, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna leave now, bye. Anyway, so now it's Riri with her magical suit, and Hood, aka Parker, with this hood, his 2 dual-wielded guns, and some shit to prove. I don't know what he's gonna prove. And they have a conversation, and he's just like, what? Oh, so you're just here to steal the power. So anyway, they fight. Finally, Riri gets the upper hand on the Hood by basically by putting like a hologram of her basically suitless, and then as soon as he tries to shoot her, the hologram went away, and then like she basically just took the hood off. And then he's just like, I'm powerless without the hood. And then she walks away. And then guess what? The entity that made the deal with the hood is waiting for Riri up, like, I don't know, the next room over, I guess. I don't know. He's just waiting. There's like pizza. He's like, hey, Riri, how's it going? And she sits down. She's like, man, who are you? You Duamu or whatever? And he's like, Damamu? That bitch, he doesn't do anything. He's just a fucking whiny little asshole. But anyway, I'm Mephisto. Yeah, it's Mephisto. By the way, I do it the whole fucking time. It was, even though they tried to like fucking be like, no, it's actually a guy that you already know. And it's like, what would even be the point of that? Like, I don't. So anyway, he's like, so you want to make a deal? She's like, no, I don't want to make a deal. I'm not going to do it. And then he's like, well, there has to be something you want. And then she's like, oh, Natalie. And then they do like there's like a weird switch between the scene where she's like shaking Mephisto's hand, and also a scene where she like breathes back Natalie, and she's human now. Cause she's like, what? It took me so long to do this. And then you think that she didn't make the deal, but she shook his hand. And then you start seeing the tendrils or whatever the fuck, the veins that the Hood had. And then you're like, oh, so she did make the deal. So what the fuck was the point? What's the point of even making her a hero? What's the point of any of this?
She's not a
I'm
hero.
so tired. I'm done talking about this. Because if I talk about this anymore, I'm going to pass out.